Here, I thought I'd start with very quickly the history of the Commonwealth of Australia. I know how are you going to pack this into 5 minutes? Well, it's not that old, but I won't talk about the preceding Indigenous societies who arrived from Southeast Asia 70,000 years ago. But there was a lot of Europeans who had a look around in the 1600s. I don't know if you're aware of that, Tom. And in 1770, James Cook charted the coast of Australia for Great Britain. But it took 18 years. It took another 18 years for the first fleet, or for a first fleet to establish a colony, albeit a penal settlement. So my point there is that the wheels of government take time, and I don't believe that that employers should be looking to government to solve this problem. And I'm very clear on that. I believe that government needs to create an environment for employers to want to employ, but it needs to be as John put it, most definitely a shared responsibility. And building on from some of John Ladd's comments about trusted intermediary, a part of my organisation runs what's called a group training company, mainly in Australia. And we employ 650 apprentices at any one time. We've graduated 10,000 over the last 30 years history of the company, and we're running what I describe as a hybrid group training model. So we're a community-based organisation with an independent board made up from varying parts of business and the community. And one of the reasons that employers want to work with our organisation is we are seen as a trusted intermediary. And why would employers want to work with a trusted intermediary? Well, many employers are interested in apprenticeship, but they actually don't know where to start. So we have field-based mentors who not only mentor the apprentices once they're working, but they're able to have a sensible and articulate conversation about building skills need and building a solid labour pipeline. So we very much building on from what Steve was saying, we don't sell on the proposition of corporate social responsibility. We sell primarily on the basis of the employer's skills need. So we start a conversation with a CEO. It's very much a good idea to start with the senior executive or leadership team and start that conversation from the top down. And once you've got that buy-in from the board or from the CEO, you find that things flow very quickly. So we build on a proposition of attract, retain and develop. So very much attracting is that we work with schools. Employers have a business to run, and quite often they don't have the time to run initiatives, to start working with school groups and starting the conversation about what an apprenticeship may look like. Once a person has left school and in the labour market, that's too late. We need to be starting these conversations a lot earlier. And John, I was interested to see the President's talking about the reinvention of high school is a very hot topic in the United States at the moment. And I don't see that there's a big difference between that and pathways to apprenticeships. Who says that a 4-year college pathway, now I'm getting onto the book, who says that a 4-year college pathway is the only pathway that it might be right for some people? Retain, very much overcoming how to retain people in Australia. Employers are worried about taking on apprentices and investing in training because the guy down the road might take that person. We very much say it's about developing this attract, retain, develop strategy. And as far as development, it's about closing the skills gap because we live in the age of technological and globalisation. And so even though we're a very long way away in Australia, it's very important for employers to build their skills capacity. So I think that's pretty much wrapping up. There's plenty to say on this subject, but thanks for the invite, Tom.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.